Ladies and gents, how we doing? Happy Monday, BTL episode 118 piece. Jovan, what a weekend for you and your Horned Frogs, man. What a weekend. Shocker, I was wrong. You were right. Congrats.
Yeah, go
Congrats.
Go Frogs.
Holy smokes. Holy smokes. You can send Quinn Ewers a thank you cards in the mail. Probably deserving so. Wow. How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling about your Horned Frogs? Just in general. I mean, you got to be on a fucking cloud right now.
I don't know about a cloud because did kind of get absolutely smoked in the NFL yesterday. Like that was probably one of my worst days just betting any sport, kind of in general. But the TCU high might be carrying it a little bit because
sure, that cancels out the cake.
It just might. It just might do it. It just might. I mean, that was awesome. That was awesome. I mean, I'll be in Waco this week to watch Baylor. Big rivalry happen.
Okay.
So, three more wins. Baylor, Iowa State, and whoever we face in the Big 12 championship, because that's punch now.
Yeah.
So I'll be waiting on it.
All right. 3 weeks. Need 3 winners.
3 winners.
Simple.
I'll be in attendance for all 3.
All right. As you should.
Yeah.
As you should. And then you guys, maybe you'll match up against my Hokies in the college football playoff.
Yeah, maybe that's more of a Texas thing.
How about another 27-point unanswered outing from the Hokies defense? How about it? It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Real quick, really bad shooting at UVA. You guys know I don't fuck with UVA, but when stuff like this happens, it sucks to see, no matter what school it is. So prayers up for those kids, their families. I don't know what the hell drove that kid to do that. Just pray that eventually this shit stops.
Yeah.
Really, really sad. Really sad. Praying for everyone who goes to UVA, especially the families affected. Okay. Fuck that shit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. We've got plenty to talk about today. We got my Manders. Unfortunately, they're going to get the absolute shit kicked out of them tonight. We'll get into that soon, though. Don't you guys worry. We've got college basketball. Already tweeted out some plays. These lines are moving. These lines are grooving. Okay. And we've got a couple more we need to talk about. We've got some NBA and NHL really quick. And then you guys know we're running it back for the BTL squad rides. How about them Owls on Friday?
How about them?
How about them Temple Owls winning outright against ranked Villanova? No way Villanova loses that game, and they're only -5.5. That's so short. It's got to take them. Sure. Well, you lost coin if you think like that. And if you think like that, you are the reason why Vegas looks the way it does. So thank you for your donations, because when I go out and take trips, it's a very nice place to go. I appreciate it. Okay. Need to start thinking a little sharper, guys, a little smarter. We got to turn it on. Okay. We got to turn it on. You guys have been killing it. Absolutely killing it.
Yeah,
picking winners left and right. 15-2. Don't know why I'm, trying to help chat get in the right thought process here. You guys have been picking winners. You are not the issue. Okay.
Yeah, no.
You are not the issue. Ollie, BTL show up on time challenge. Sure. Some of us have 8 a.m.s. Some of us have 8 a.m.s to worry about. Okay. We continue to win. Let's keep rolling on that today. Don't want to jinx us. We'll get to it at the end. You guys know we get it in the last 15 minutes. Okay. What do you want to dive into first? Do you want to cut the shit and you want to talk about some of these NBA and NHL games so we can move on and get to the juicy stuff?
Yeah, we can go with that.
Sure. Let's go to the fake hardwood, the NBA. All right. Let's check it out. Anything crazy going on the hardwoods tonight? We're seeing the Pistons only getting 4.5 points at home. Not sure if that's some injury shit or not.
It is.
That's a little weird.
I think the Raptors have, a slew of guys out.
Okay.
Which is probably the reasoning for that.
Well, that would make an incredible amount of sense. Looks like it. Gary Trent out. Fred VanVleet's out. Okay. Yes. Stay away from that one. All right. You've got the mid-off, Charlotte versus the Magic. Anything in that?
I want nothing to do in that game or with that game, really. Probably lean Magic there. It's a toilet bowl, to be honest with you. I debated looking at that game. I just couldn't do it. I'll leave it.
Hey, leave that for the freakazoids that want to bet on that game for some reason. Let's go to Boston. Anything in Boston, OKC? I don't like anything in this one.
No.
I think LaMelo's back. I don't know if he was back this weekend or not, but it looks like he's playing. I think he's got one game under his belt.
Yeah, I think he came back for one game.
Okay.
I don't think he played too much, so they're kind of easing him in. But
Okay.
yeah, I would say really the only thing that jumps out at me at this board or on this board is just the Heat going 1.5, 2 against the Suns, which the Suns are coming off, I think, a pretty bad loss. They got smoked by the Magic, but they're still the Suns at the end of the day. And the Heat, as bad as they're playing too, being favored and continuing to catch a move their way is a little interesting.
Looks like Chris Paul does not sound too confident that he's playing tonight. I know he's questionable, and Tyler Hero also questionable.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens with these guys before we, deploy on that. I would say, yeah. Suns have a lot of injuries. They're banged up. Miami's got their slew of injuries as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what happens with that. But I'm with you. I mean, nothing else looks, really that weird. Giannis looks like he's probably going to play today.
Yeah.
That line might be a speck short, I'd say.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely kind of lean the Hawks there. It's just,
Yeah,
it's hard to kind of value the Bucks when they have like one of their stars in and the other one out. And then I don't know if that's today or not, but I think Middleton is not far away, if not tonight.
looks like he's a game timer. He just got recalled from the G League. He might be out. Oh no, that was a nota from November 1st. Do not mind me. But he is a game time decision tonight. So stay posted on if he plays or not. I want nothing to do with a game where you got a bunch of people coming back from injuries, making their season debuts. Who knows how fresh they're going to look? Who knows how bad they're going to look?
Yeah,
I don't have a crystal ball.
100%.
I don't. So yeah, keep me away from those. Let's stay posted on that Miami injury stuff, but that's really the only one that I see that has any sort of interest in my mind, at least.
Yeah.
I'm with you. How about the ice? Anything crazy?
I wouldn't say anything crazy here. I mean, there's only 4 games, but there is one that I am certainly keeping my eye on because it is a total that might get down to 5.5 here pretty soon in the Canes Blackhawks game. Not just because it's hanging like minus 120 ish to the under 6 on most books. So if he gets down there, I'll be on it for more than reasons, and it's just 5.5. I mean, the last 5 Blackhawks games have gone under. 6 of 9, or the last 9 Canes road games have gone under, and their team total over 3.5 seems a little high. Like I think the Canes kind of roll in this game, so if this doesn't go down to 5.5, I think I'm probably going to be on Canes puck line. I'm going to see Shelly in chat. Let me know what it is, but that's probably my favorite game on the board.
Okay. What's going on with this Islanders-Senators game? We're seeing that line move towards the Islanders a pretty good amount, but, I mean, seeing this open at a pick'em, I thought that was a little bit interesting with the struggling Senators. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, the Senators and best defenseman as well, I believe, is out with a concussion. It's super, super interesting. So I'm kind of waiting. That game just scares me in general. I think it is a pretty short line for the Senators, so I need that one. I'm probably going to crutch on maybe a square or two. That if it drops, it would be pretty telling. So we'll see. We'll see how that drops, but I definitely lean Senators in that game. That line seems crazy, but the total also. I know the Isles are what I think top 5 scoring offenses right now in the league. Correct me if I'm not mistaken in the chat, but seeing the total 6.5, I know the Sens have no defenseman, but it's making me think they're going to take advantage of it, which is kind of scaring me off a little bit.
Okay. And that line movement is also scaring me as well. It's absolutely steaming towards the Islanders. So maybe just a stay away spot there. But that line is short. It opened up short. It's still short. So definitely something to keep in mind. Okay. Sens have only won in games that they've scored 4+ goals in. So if he's in nets, he'd have to allow 4+ goals. For that reason, he's on the Isles. But Krabs, you might like the Sens after that. Yeah, sketchy game.
Very.
It's weird to me if their best defenseman is out. That could have some, that could be partially the reason why this line is moving. Also, the Islanders are getting significantly more money. right? That could also be why the line's moving. But I think we can all agree, whether we're playing this side or that side, that this line opened up a little short in this one. So I'm no hockey pro, but just trying to flag games that look a little weird for the people.
Yeah.
And that's definitely one of them in my eyes.
Same here.
Okay. All right, where we can get into some of the juicy stuff. You want to do college basketball first, and then you want to do Monday Night Football?
It's up to you. I wouldn't say I'm
Okay.
too convicted on really anything in the Monday Night Football. I got some leans, but if you want to just talk about that and maybe get it over with, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I think my Commanders are going to get destroyed today. I'll be completely honest with you. Couldn't tell you the last time I saw a spread sitting at 11 in an NFC East divisional game, especially not with healthy teams and healthy QBs. I mean, I know Wentz isn't healthy, but, I mean, this is Heineke's team in my eyes. This game gives me serious vibes of when the Manders beat the undefeated Steelers 2 years ago. About this time of the season, I think they might have been 8-0 as well. They might have been even more. They might have been 10-0 or something like that. And we ended up beating them outright when nobody expected it. That's the only thing that's keeping me off the Eagles, besides being a diehard Manders fan and my body not letting me place the button. But the fact that the Eagles are laying 11 here, don't care if they're undefeated, don't care if they're getting more money. The craziest part is, Jovan, they're not really getting more of the money.
No, they're not.
The Manders are a little bit of a public dog here. I think it's starting to get to that point in the season where the Eagles undefeated, right? Everyone kind of gets tired of seeing the same team win every single week, and you start to kind of want to fade, the Goliath, and you want to take the David in the Commanders, right? This is a terrible spot to take them. We know there's so much drama behind the scenes. With the Manders going on, but this is an away game, which is good. Get them out of that building, get them out of that shitty stadium, get them on the move, right? I don't know if you heard, but Alex Smith was absolutely roasting the Manders, saying FedEx Field is the worst game day experience for a player in the country, and saying that I don't know if I've ever seen an organization, with more distractions going on inside the fucking building than the Manders. So it's just so toxic and disgusting. And to be honest with you, that doesn't even have anything to do with why I think the Eagles win today. It's the spread. The spread should not be minus 11. Don't care if it's an undefeated team against a 4-5 team. This is an NFC East divisional game. They're always closer than they should be. Trust me, I've unfortunately had to watch too many of these games in the past, right? So if anybody knows, this division, it's me. And this is way too many points. The line really hasn't moved much. And that's probably because the handle and the bets are pretty damn split. I'm seeing the Manders have more money in bets on themselves by a little bit on almost every site I check, which is concerning. You guys know what happens with public dogs. They bite. So wish I could come on here and give you guys some hope and give you guys an underdog for Monday Night Football tonight. Unfortunately, I can't. We've seen, the success that underdogs have had ATS this season. I think this is another spot where a favorite rolls. And they're this big of a favorite for a reason. I think the Eagles absolutely obliterate us tonight. Hate to say it. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, I kind of think the same thing. It's to the point, like you said. I mean, I think people are pretty caught on to the fact that interdivision dogs, especially with a double-digit spread, have been cashing at a pretty serious rate. But I don't see a reason for this to be 11, to be honest with you. I was kind of expecting more of a 9.5, maybe something like that. So to see it there, not really moving with, more of the bets on the Commanders, not that it's by much, I kind of think they roll, which is kind of scaring me off of being too convicted in any player props too, because I really don't know how long the starters are going to need to be in. Not really sure.
Yeah, and we'll get into the prize picks and props board too, because I mean, if you guys haven't noticed already, we like to use that, to kind of decide what we're betting on generally. I like the under in the game. And maybe it's square, maybe it's not. I don't really know. I know this division, and I know this game is going under. I know this game is going to be gross. It's going to suck to watch. It's not going to be entertaining. There's going to be so many punts. You're going to want to rip your eyeballs out. Shout out my guy, Tress Way. I'm taking his fucking props today. It's going to be an absolute punting masterclass from Tress tonight. Honestly, no jokes aside, or all jokes aside, this is the day where we should be taking Tressway's punt props because he's going to be active. We're going to be getting our best player out there consistently, flipping the field. Okay. I like the under in this game. I think our defense shows up. I took our defense in DFS this weekend. I think our defense has gotten significantly better since the beginning of the season. I like what I've seen out of Dust Up Del Rio. Getting these boys in line a little bit here. They're playing decent. That D-line is an absolute fucking menace, and they should cause enough problems to help this game go under. And I don't think, we're going to really score much. Sorry. I don't hate to say it. It blows. But Heineke, this defense owned Heineke. They've kind of owned Heineke every start he's made against them. I don't really see anything different today. Darius Slay is going to absolutely strap up. Also, to go back to our defense, I think we might really struggle to strap up Dallas Goedert again. So watch out for him to have a decent game today. Don't hate his props. He's probably the only guy I really like overs on, besides maybe Tressway's over, punts inside the 20. Straight up. But I like the under in the game. Lines moving down. You're seeing a fatter chunk of handle. Bigger bets coming in on the under, but way more tickets coming in on the over. The line's moving accordingly. I like the under in this game, just like almost every single NFC East game, especially ones on prime time. The boys are going to be tight. They're going to be tight out there, especially the Eagles sitting at 8-0. This is a letdown spot. It is. This is a letdown spot. I don't think their offense is going to come out doing anything special against our improved defense, and I don't think Heineke is going to score much against this Eagles D, unfortunately. Hate to say it, but it's true. So give me the under. That's probably the only play, side or total-wise, that I'll be on in this game. Okay? Any thoughts that the Manders might just say, fuck it, with nothing to lose, going for it on fourth down and shit? I mean, when have you ever seen teams just randomly go for it on fourth down random times of the games, ever, in the past history of the NFL? That doesn't happen. We're going to try to win this game. Okay? G-Girl Gaming, Jovan, she's saying, what's up to you? We're going to run it back with Eagles first half. I think Eagles just roll this whole fucking game, man, straight up. But I wouldn't take the first half. I think it's going to be points are going to come at a premium, so you might want that whole game to cover that 11.
Yeah,
plain and simple.
That's what I would want, especially the way the Eagles. I know they've been a first half wagon, but they are very streaky. Like they've been shut out for plenty of quarters of their games, and they just score points in bunches. So I mean, I'm taking the whole game if I'm taking the Eagles. But
agreed.
That's me.
Agreed. Okay. Somebody asked about Dotson over receiving yards. If you want to take a player coming back from a hammy injury in his first game back, a rookie who we don't really have that much of a sample size anyways, on a team with plenty of mouths to feed, plenty of weapons, and you want to take his over receiving yards, you will be alone on that journey. I will not be joining you on that, unfortunately. I'll be rooting for you. Jahan Dotson is a dog, but we've never seen Heineke and Dotson play in a game ever. He could be his favorite target ever. He could never throw to him once. We know what happens when Heineke gets in trouble. He tries to find his guy, Terry. So I probably am not in a rush to go out and bet any Dotson props today. Just being honest. But the guy's an absolute electric factory. Still leads the league for rookie receivers in touchdown receptions this season, and the guy's missed half the season. Dog. Guy finds pay dirt. Okay? Krabs, I'm down by 10. I have Hurts, and he has McLaurin. I'm nervous. Yeah, you should win that.
You should win that. I don't know. It's not like the main prop I like in this game, but I think that Hurts 2.5 touchdowns that's on Prize Picks is a little trappy. So, I mean, granted, he doesn't probably in that matchup, you're not going to need 3 touchdowns to win that. 2 could do it, 1 could do it maybe, but I don't know. It's another one. This feels kind of similar to the Texans game where I think the running backs feast and like they get vultured, whether it's Gainwell, whether it's Boston Scott, whether it's a bunch of those guys. Like I could see all those running backs scoring. I don't know if it has to be Hurts today. So I honestly considered taking the under there, but the only one that I really kind of I like Brian Robinson yards.
Wow.
Honestly, I've seen it a couple times weirdly since I first looked at it. So is it square? Is it the popular one? I don't know, but Eagles are missing Jordan Davis. Oh, there we go. But I mean, they're missing Jordan Davis, which I didn't think would be as significant a deal as it was last week. And I know Dameon Pierce, very, very good. Don't want to take credit away from them, but they're getting gashed through the tackles. So I don't know if it's going to be more of a facet of them trying to like chew clock or whatever. I just think he gets a couple gash runs through the tackles there. I think how it's going to go. I do think it's pretty weird how much higher Gibson's like rushing and receiving number is as opposed to Brian Robinson. Like I know he's definitely used more in the receiving area and he's the one who has props up for it, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's like a 20 plus yard difference with
On the
how
rushing prop too.
the rushing prop is a yard higher, which
Mm.
I don't know if that's weird because I think he still outrushed him like last week or a couple weeks before, but I don't know. I've been frustrated personally as a Gibson supporter watching his usage because it's been very
Mm-hmm.
very confusing, and I'm sure you've been confused too.
Yeah, well, when your offensive coordinator only has a job because his dad is Norv Turner and Ron Rivera is your head coach and doesn't have a lick of offense in his entire body, and your owner is a fucking absolute pig and shitty human being, you don't expect us to use our players and pieces like we should. It's as
Yeah,
plain and simple as that.
yeah,
It would surprise me if we were utilizing our players the right way. It would shock me. I wouldn't even know what to say or do because I've never seen us do that ever before. Yeah, let's go out and draft a running back in the second round and use them for 10 snaps in the game when we already have, J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson on the roster. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Good call.
yeah,
Now we don't even know what the fuck to do with these guys. So I don't understand it. It's impressive how dumb a professional organization can be, and it's kind of sad. You've got grown ass men making the calls like this, and they continue to fuck up. How do they look themselves in a mirror? How do they kiss their wife on the cheek? It's embarrassing, plain and simple.
yeah,
And they're absolutely taking the life out of fans who, you know what? If you were a Manders fan at one point, you're not a fan anymore. Don't blame you. Don't blame you. We'll welcome you back when Bezos buys the team. Okay, we'll buy you back. We'll bring you back. Okay. Um, yeah, I wish I could tell you what we're gonna do tonight with our running backs. I really do.
yeah. I mean, I'll say
I
like
really do.
the lines definitely tell me that Gibson is going to be more involved, but I've thought that a couple times and just been completely off. Like I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
or what, way off because he didn't even play a snap for like the whole first
Yeah,
quarter.
it makes no sense. And he's kind of been the guy on our offense who's been really the spark plug and
Exactly.
providing us
It is don't use him.
electricity. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so I'll say lines tell me he's going to be a little more involved, but football brain tells me that Robinson should have a pretty good day running inside. But I have
Okay.
a feeling that's going to be awfully popular. So it could be one of the games where oversimplifying it with Robinson may not work, and just might have to listen to the lines and take Gibson.
Okay. I mean, I trust, the due diligence and research that the bookmakers, along with their algorithms, I trust them to know more about what the game plan is than us. And that's
Yeah,
just a simple fact. If you don't think that way, if you think you're smarter than the books, they're sitting there laughing at you, pointing and laughing. Okay. So sometimes you got to use, when the lines talk, you got to listen. I said that all
yeah,
the time. Maybe this is a case of it too, but I genuinely I imagine Scott Turner, our offensive coordinator, spinning one of those bingo, cages that has all the cards in it. And then he pulls out, he's like, oh, today it's going to be Gibson. Today we're going to use Gibson a lot today. That's how I picture him deciding what we do. Have no fucking idea. Have no fucking idea. But whatever he chooses, it's probably not even going to work. That's the worst part. It's not even going to work.
yeah,
So we'll leave it at that. Okay, we'll leave it at that. And guys, I'm not betting on the Eagles. I can't. I can't do it. But I mean, I think I made it pretty clear how I expect this game to go tonight. I think the final score in this one is going to be 24-13. 24-13 Eagles final. Clip it.
right
Book
on.
it. Okay. That's what it's going to be. Your Jalen Hurts, he's going to do just enough, to get the win, and this game's going to be boring and it's going to suck. And then after the game, I'm going to be like, why do I keep doing this to myself? But that's what I've got in that one. Any weird Prize Pick squares up that your eyeballs have been seeing? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say super weird, but like I said, the Gibson thing is a little weird. They also only have him up for rush attempts and not Brian Robinson. And I think receiving wise too, there's no singular Robinson receiving yards because his line is only it's sub 10 because his rushing yards is 33.5. Rushing and receiving is 42.5. So again, everything's kind of telling me that whether it's the receiving game or just usage in general, like Gibson's going to be involved. But like I said, I've thought this before. It's a coaching decision. Who knows what's going to happen? There's nothing else really too weird, I would say, other than just those guys.
Yeah, I mean, Miles Sanders being up for half a pass rush and receiving touchdown is a little bit interesting in my mind. The guy's been
He's
been
up like
smacking these.
he's been up like every week though.
Okay.
The thing I do like usually in prime time, I guess too. I don't know if we did this last week collectively, but the guys that are up for very, very low receiving yards totals have been hitting a lot, and that's John Bates and Quez Watkins today, and debatably Logan Thomas. I don't know if he's considered that, but
nah, I would stay away from LT. LT's toast.
That's what I was going to say.
I'd go after Bates. I actually have been hearing that we're going to try to utilize him more.
Yeah,
I don't hate taking Bates today, to be honest with you. I mean, we didn't draft this guy to fucking pick his ass on the sidelines for 4 years, right?
Yeah,
we got to get him out there and see what we got.
I don't know. This feels like a game, at least receiving wise, for the Eagles, that there's going to be like a Quez Watkins to take over and score, a touchdown or two, have a big catch like he just randomly does.
Yeah,
especially with all the money on AJ Brown, which, I mean, AJ Brown's going to do AJ Brown things. I'm not going to say he's going to get shut down, but maybe somebody else does it.
You guys know I'm trying to get cheeky and fade one of these, rush plus receiving touchdowns. The one that I like the under on would be the AJ Brown and Curtis Samuel. Under a half rush plus receiving. Just hold your breath and pray that AJ doesn't get in the end zone. I'm assuming we're going to make that a priority this week. And Benjamin St. Juste, good luck, my man. Keep strapping up like you've been strapping up, okay? And let's hope he can do enough on AJ. And then, I do not see a world where Curtis Samuel gets in the end zone today. I really don't, especially with Dotson back.
Yeah, somebody in the chat can let me know. I don't think I saw this, but I also wasn't paying attention to these squares too much throughout like the week. They have one of the squares up that's Devontae and Dallas Goedert, which they're both on the same team. I don't know why that's necessarily up unless there's been like a stream population of those squares with the same team guys. I've thought that all of them were across teams in the game. So I mean, let me know which in the chat which squares have been like that prior, because I don't know off the top of my head.
They did that last night too. They had a few same teams last night.
How did those go?
Yeah, how'd they play out? See, this is why we do this. It's all about the communication. This is teamwork.
Yeah.
It really is. This is teamwork. This is what BTL is all about. Okay? Let us know, HG Kane, you're a beast. You're a beast. Jovan, you might have found a roommate. Prize Picks roommate. Who lives in the app.
Yeah, my man's got
Let's
me.
go, HG Kane.
Lazard, Dillon, same team, didn't cash. So that's what I would think, like right off the board. Fields and Kmet cashed. Okay.
Grambling State got top 25 votes in the AP poll. Good for them. I mean, that 25 spot is absolutely cursed. Nobody wants to be there in the rankings. They continue to lose. So it's been a rotating door from the 20 to 25 spot in the rankings. So
okay, so I see Deontay and Najee under was free. Ayuk and Kittle, I don't think that hit, right? So I'm seeing a lot more that didn't hit than did.
Okay.
So if you want to fade one, maybe that's the one. I know my man, I think it was Pat or P. Hurl. He was saying the Devontae Smith line after he's absolutely torched the Commanders that last game, that his receiving is only in the 50s.
Wait, who are you talking about? Sorry? I'm looking
Smith.
up props. Who?
Devontae Smith.
Right. You're saying his props look a little bit low today after absolutely torching us in that first game?
Yeah, he's 53.5.
Somebody in chat also said it's his birthday, too.
Oh, perfect fade.
Yeah, J.D. McKissick isn't even playing today, by the way, guys. He's been out the last couple of weeks. So
he's going to be out for a while, isn't he?
His neck is fucked up. I can see it. I can see it now. I can see him fucking retiring at the end of the season because his neck is fucked up. I am not rooting for that or hoping that's what happens, but these running backs, they get crunched once and their neck is fucked for the rest of their career. So
And look, this is what I was talking about.
Huh.
He hasn't been great as of recently, and as far as covering this number, but 110-yard difference compared to the first game this season against the Commanders seems a little crazy.
So, do you think it's weird that he's been playing like shit recently and his props back up to 53.5 against us, and that makes you want to take his over? Or are you saying they're inflating his number because of how well he played against us in the first game? But to be realistic, this season he hasn't really been the weapon he was last year, and you want to take his under. What thought process are you behind?
I'm kind of in between on it because I think it is a slightly inflated number, but I think it's, I don't know. I was kind of leaning on you to see what you think about that one because I don't know how much higher they can put his number, but it seems like it should maybe be a little higher with the matchup, considering, all things considered. So I'm not really sure.
So let me ask you this. Devonta Smith, 53.5 receiving yards. I know you live in the app more than I do. What would you compare? Like, what would you say a wide receiver prop at 53.5? Normally, would you say that's a spec low for a wide receiver too on a really good team? Would you say that's a little bit high generally? Not even looking at his past. What would you say that number is, just like in comparison to other wide receivers in the league?
I'd say it's a solid number.
Okay.
We'll say a lot of those ones in the low 50s usually end up being very, very close to the number. Whether they go over or under. Those ones that are between kind of like 51 and 54-ish. It's usually pretty accurate. Which makes me think, like, if I'm going to take a shot at something, it would probably be the under, but the only thing that's holding me back from that is A.J. Brown, because that's going to be super corporate, so somebody else has got to do
it. Yeah, that's scary. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sprinting to the books to bet any overs in this game tonight, besides maybe Bates. Maybe John Bates. I mean, he could get that in one fucking catch, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, JB. JB, you got to feed your fan, bro. You got to show the team they didn't just draft a fucking traffic cone. Come on, John Bates. I know you got it in you, bro. That's the one that I could get behind that over, John Bates. I think Logan Thomas, since he's been back from this ACL, it's been tough to watch. I'm rooting for the guy. He's old. He's got a lot of miles on those legs. And he does not look like the same guy from before the injury yet, as of right now. Maybe he's still getting back into it. But since he's been back, holy smokes. Did I hear about the Virginia news? Yes. Pray for UVA. Pray for that school and those students and families. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. All right. Let's go into college basketball because that's what the people want to hear. Okay. We got about 45 minutes. We need to talk about some games. All right. We need to talk about this College of Charleston game. Is this UMass 2.0 from the other night when everyone hops aboard this team and we all look like fucking bozos afterwards? Or what are we thinking here? I need to check and see what the line is doing. I'm going to do that right now. But I want your take on College of Charleston. Is Rain Smith about to make it rain against Burton and Richmond tonight? What's going on with this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is one. I think we were talking about it last night when they were 3-point underdogs or 4-point underdogs or whatever it was. I kind of liked it there just because my conception of the team, or not conception, perception of the team, I think this Richmond team is a good team in name, and we see people like they're a team who does it every year. They have guys every year. They have Tyler Burton, who everybody knows and everybody loves, rightfully so.
Yep.
But they're replacing a lot of production, so they're not the same team, and we've seen that kind of already. Like they've looked decent, but not great. So in my mind, I think it's an overvalued name brand thing. And Charleston is a team that people really still haven't hopped on. So to see them very short underdogs caught my eye initially, and to see the big move, it's a little surprising to me. But I think Charleston wins this game. Honestly, I'm still willing to go with the move. This team just feels like a little bit of a deeper team than Richmond. It feels like there's more consistent production from, the 1 through 5 spot, and not just Tyler Burton for that team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to lay it.
Yeah, the reason why I like this Richmond team so much last season is because, I mean, they kind of had it all. They had that Gilliard kid running point, a really small kid who was just an electric factory and kind of the heart and soul. And then they had Burton, who could kind of score and get buckets in different ways. Then they also had that Grant Golden dude, the big ass center with the man bun, who
Yeah.
just kind of was a game changer for that squad. He probably should not have played at Richmond. He probably should have been in a Power 5 school, to be honest with you. He was huge and he could
Yeah.
shoot three. He was good. They
Yeah.
used to run a little pick and roll with him. Those guys are gone. It's pretty much just Burton and this pretty decent freshman guard who's been playing pretty well. But
my thing with that, and my thing with that team is like this is going to be a game like we've seen Charleston's defense or lack thereof in a couple of games. Like I don't want to say against UNC, but 100 points against anybody is a pretty significant deal. Giving that up, but I just don't trust the Richmond lineup outside of Burton to run and gun with this Charleston team and put up like consistent offense 1 through 5. Like I think Burton's going to do his thing, but I just don't trust the rest of this lineup right now to do that and to be able to shoot with them, keep up with them. So I think it's going to be eventually maybe they pull away.
Yeah, I'm on the ML. I snagged the ML this morning at minus 140. It's continued to move. Ladies and gents, I've been watching where the line's been moving on Pinnacle. It seems to have stopped for right now. And it kind of pulled back a speck, but the juice is still moving. So I've talked about it before. I like to kind of see where the lines are at on Pinnacle Sportsbook because that seems to be generally one of the first to move and kind of one of the leaders. So they've got them at minus 2.5 right now, a little bit juiced when a lot of sites have them at minus 3, minus 3.5. So definitely not good for College of Charleston, but let's just hope that that line doesn't continue to come back. And although it did pull back, a half a point, the juice is now moving back towards Charleston, which is a good sign. So let's stay posted on it. I like the ML. I think we cut the shit and just take the ML. Last night when they were +3, I would have liked Charleston ML as well too. I think they win that game. I'm not too worried about it right now. Okay, I still think they win the game. Could it be a UMass 2.0 and all this line movement is just deceiving and Richmond, with the better coach, it gets it done on the road for sure.
Could be.
For sure. But I'm backing Rainn Wilson and my guys at Charleston. I think they're one of the most underrated teams in college basketball. They were hanging with UNC in their last game. They were literally winning that game at some point in the second half of the season. So these boys can play. These boys know they can play. And like I said before, the last couple of years, this team at home just shoots differently. And Rain Smith is an absolute dog. And he's going to be a dog tonight again against this pretty mid Richmond defense. Okay. And I'm just praying that Burton kind of goes ghost mode like he did in some games last season. If Burton can put up less than, 18 to 20 points, I think we're in pretty damn good shape.
Okay? Yeah, I mean, I think we are if that happens, but I don't think it's necessary to happen. Like I think he can put up 30, and it's really going to be on those other guys, especially. I mean, the total is continuing to rise. I mean, we expect that from these two teams, but seeing 152.5 now, which is what I think 4 points, 5 points maybe from the open. It's probably going to continue to go up. So who knows? It's going to be on the rest of the guys, I think.
Yep. Why is the AP poll respecting Auburn so much? Well, Bruce Pearl deserves the respect, I think. And he's got a lot of pieces who aren't back yet. Their best player, Nick Smith Jr.
Yeah.
We got to wait to see what this kid's got. He potentially could be a top 10 pick in the draft. So we haven't even seen him yet. Let's relax, okay? Season is so early. So early. All right? If you snagged College of Charleston last night at +3.5, you're awesome. You're an awesome person. And I'm very jealous. Okay? Good shit. Good shit. Wow, Nick Smith is on Arkansas. I'm a fucking bot. I'm a bot. Hold on one sec. Who was the fucking freshman I'm thinking of? I can't be confusing Arkansas with Auburn. Give me a second here.
Close enough.
People, let's talk about this IUPUI total first while I figure this out. And yes, we're going to talk about Lipscomb, my guy, Chanel in chat. And yeah, Youngstown State is a wagon. Whoever put that in there too. Okay. But let's talk about this IUPUI total. We know our guy, Ollie, is already on the over. That makes me feel pretty good about it. was chatting with him for a minute about this total. I'm doing it. I'm taking the over with them. I got a good number at over 129.5. This total is just simply too high for these two absolutely shit teams, two of the worst teams, in college basketball, to be honest with you, but maybe the two worst defensive teams, like legitimately in college basketball. So if these teams can't cash an over against each other, I don't think they ever will. I thought this would have been a total set at 120, not 130. Don't even care that it moved down a speck. And the under is getting a ton of money already. And that line really hasn't been moving much this morning once it went down to 130-ish. I'm cool with playing it. I like the over where it's at now. Give me that. Give me that. What do you think about that game? Anything?
I mean, not much. I kind of agree that it would be the play. Like the over would be the play if I had to play anything there. I don't know. It's kind of a falling knife play for me too. It's not like a team thing, but I think it's overs are in sharp spots pretty often. It's just I'd rather see one go through the net first before I start jumping in.
Sure. Chance Westry is the fucking dude I was thinking of, the guard on Auburn, who's supposed to be really darn good. My fault.
And I don't know if Johnny Broome.
Has Johnny Broome played yet or no? I don't think he's even played yet.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's the real X factor of that squad. If you guys remember Morehead State being really good last season, remember they made the tournament? Johnny Broome, their big man, was
I think he played
dominant.
against USF, but it's pretty limited, if at all.
Okay.
The books do not want you to take that over. That's for sure.
FSU -10. You want to address Lance's locks comment there? I know you were thinking about it, thinking about trying to catch the fallen knife.
Yeah. I don't know, because this feels kind of like I see FSU and Louisville on pretty even terms. Not as far as talent goes, but they're teams that are replacing just way too much production. It's going to take time for them to kind of gel and figure it out. And we've seen it a couple of times. Saw them get killed by Stetson. We saw them get ran over by UCF. So like this line at 10, even with, I think it was at 11, went to 10. It still feels pretty high for a Troy team who, granted against bad opponents, but has looked pretty good, I would say, these first couple games. So like at some point, I think they're going to put it together. Is it tonight? The line probably tells me that it is. I think they either roll in this game or lose outright, but it's not a spot where I'm just really loving to get involved yet. Mm-hmm. I think there will be, spots better equally as good coming, in the next couple games forward. But line tells you what it is.
I'm not in a rush to catch the falling knife here with Florida State against a trendy, weird school like Troy, who's been playing decent ball. Wyoming losing to Southeast Louisiana is great look for SDSU futures bettors. Yeah, it is. They're also missing probably their best player right now in Graham Ike.
Yeah, don't take stock into it yet.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously not a bad sign.
Yeah.
Not a bad sign.
Western
Illinois. Western Illinois and Miami of Ohio. Those are two dogs that I have on my lean sheet that we can talk about. Western Illinois has been one of the scrappier teams in college basketball. Our guy, the Leather Jacks, he knows the fucking mascot. Let's go a little Newport. This team is scrappy. I've been kind of betting on them more when they've been at home, at least last season. And it kind of played out pretty darn well. We're seeing them only get 14.5 points, though, on the road to UCF tonight. I definitely lean the scrappy Western Illinois Leathernecks for sure. But, they've been playing pretty decent. And UCF, they're coming off that outright win to Florida State, which does make me like them for sure. Is that enough for you to bet on this Western Illinois team on the road getting 15 points, or are we falling into a fake sharp trap? They're getting a lot of the handle as of right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to go into it. I kind of dug into this game because, I mean, not only I think UCF beating FSU by 14 is a big thing in name, especially when you have a Western Illinois team that's coming off a double-digit loss to DePaul. You got to remember, like, this is a team that I think is more talented than they show or have shown, like last year and even so far this year. But they're a middle of the pack Summit League team at the end of the day, and
Mm-hmm.
I love their guard play. I mean, Alec Rosner, somebody said that, absolutely Himothy. Trent Massner, absolutely Himothy. And those are two senior-led guys or senior-led team with those two guys. They also play very fast, which when you look at UCF, a reason they struggled in that Asheville game is because Asheville plays a little fast. They play a little fast. They jug threes. They get to the line a lot, which is a lot of the same thing that Western Illinois is going to do against them today. So, in a team that's going to kind of push them, and if you get UCF into a three-point shooting competition, they're very, very out of their element. So, I think this is a game that Western Illinois can certainly keep close. So, I like them today.
Are you going to be playing them today?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I will too after that. Holy shit. And then what about Miami of Ohio playing big name Georgia, who blows. And we're seeing them only get, how many points are they getting right now? 12 and a half, pretty sure.
Yeah.
Are you taking this frustrating fucking Miami of Ohio team? This team cost me so much coin. I was very, very, very high on the Miami of Ohio team last season. I thought they were going to be decent, and I was swimming in piss the entire time. They returned most of their squad. They're getting some fat bets in. They haven't looked that sharp this year, but neither has Georgia. But at the end of the day, Georgia's just not good. They just had that big name for their school, right? But this basketball team, this basketball program has never been good, except for when they had Anthony Edwards for a hot sec, right? So
they weren't even good then. They're bad.
They really weren't. It was just him just shooting threes and making crazy shots, straight up. I like Miami of Ohio here. They're getting a lot of bets, dude. A lot of handle, and about half of the bet percentage as well. Any thoughts on this Miami of Ohio Georgia matchup?
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked about this kind of with SIU because these early games, I don't want to say it's a blind bet on some of the dogs, but Georgia is a team just like Oklahoma State. I'm not going to say they're just as good as Oklahoma State, but they're just bad. And they lose to a lot of these bad teams. And this year, especially, their perimeter defense is horrible. I mean, looking at what some of these guards have done to them with ease, it's been that story for a couple of years now, but it's really bad this year. And Miami, Ohio, they have a couple of guys who can kind of take advantage of that. I know they're, replacing a lot of their guys, but they've gotten pretty balanced production, I would say, from a majority of their team. So they're not just getting it done from guard play, but they're going to do it. So I think this is another game. They can keep it close. Georgia always falls flat in spots like this. So I'm down to fade them here.
Okay. What are you thinking about this DePaul, Minnesota game? We saw the line flip.
Yeah.
This DePaul team has nothing really special, to be honest with you. They lost Freeman Liberty. He was really their only piece last season. I feel like they've been going through a rebuild ever since I've been following college basketball. I'm not really sure why this line flipped here. Any insight on this DePaul, Minnesota game? I lean DePaul, but I've seen some people on DePaul today too, so I'm curious.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't really know what to think about this game because I don't think DePaul is very good, but to see this line continuing to move and a Minnesota team, which I think is just very overrated come time and time again. I think this is going to be a really, really close game. I know I faded them. I think their first game against Western Michigan, they're just really overvalued, I think, in terms of every single year. It's weird. And I don't think it's like significant or anything, but a couple points in pretty much a lot of these games. I don't know why. I don't know what name value that they have as Minnesota, but they I don't know, they tend to get overvalued. So this DePaul team that I don't think is very good, to see the line flip their way, when they still kind of have shooting problems to sort out without Freeman Liberty, like they have pretty much from that surrounding cast every year. This just seems like a really ugly game that DePaul is going to somehow find their way to win. It's like,
I'm not.
Lean them. I just there's not really a screaming for me to get involved here either.
Yeah, and people in chat are like, yeah, is that guy still hurt? Jamison Battle, he's out of his walking boots. But that doesn't mean he's going to play. And I lean that he's probably not going to play, especially with this line. I mean, if this is the line and he's ruled in and this line stays like this, I will be on to Paul.
Yep.
We're probably not going to know until tip. We saw what happened with North Texas last night. That was super beat. If you guys took North Texas with me last night, I apologize. If you didn't see what came out, Tyler Perry, hilarious name, by the way, but spelled differently. Their best player, he was ruled out right before the game. It turns out their entire team also had the flu and did not practice all week. So that was really cool to find out as the ball was tipping. Awesome. Really appreciate that, college basketball, for not having any regulations with lineups. That's really sick. I apologize. I eat that one. That's on me. I should have done more digging. Wouldn't have found much, but I apologize. If you guys lost a bet on that, that's my fault, not your fault. Okay. But Jamison Battle, I'm assuming he's not playing. And if he does, he is the best player on the court. But the line has got to be set and moving as if he's not playing.
Yeah.
Has to be.
I would think.
Has to be. But the rest of this team, they suck. They suck. They have nobody. Yeah. They got that UNC kid who never fucking played, Dawson something.
Which he's been good for them. I just don't think it's been more a product of who they've played. I mean, they've played two very undersized teams, and I mean one just flat out bad team and St. Francis. Not to say Western Michigan's that good either, but at least against those two teams, which really isn't saying much. And I don't want to act like DePaul is this deathly interior team or anything, but they definitely have more bodies than you've seen in these first couple of games. So I don't think he's gonna. I don't want to say he's not gonna do much of anything, but he's not gonna look like him like he has his first couple games.
Yeah, I think I need to see if Jamison Battle officially gets ruled out in this one, because I just don't want to get sneak. I don't want to get sneak notifications about some shit happening in this game as it's about to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you can blame Krabs for all the bets you lose. Sure, I'll be your guy. I'll be your fall guy. I got you. No doubt. No doubt. Am I taking UMBC today? We could talk about that game if you like. Definitely not taking UMBC, though.
Yeah.
I like Princeton in this game. I'm not sure why the heck Princeton is minus 5.5 against anybody. To be honest with you, that doesn't make much sense. Princeton has looked pretty fucking ass this season. I watched that Princeton Navy game over the weekend. By the way, would not wish anyone watching that game, wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But the Princeton being minus 5.5 here on the road after that game makes 0 sense. I will say, though, Princeton did figure it out in the second half. They were down like over 20 points at halftime in that game and absolutely outplayed, looked like a different squad in the second half. And it was almost enough to upset Navy, but they ended up losing by 1. So I think this Princeton team, who I was relatively high on, at least more than they've been playing so far this season, I think they kind of figured it out a little bit in that second half against a pretty average Navy defense. Maybe they keep that momentum rolling, and that's why they're minus 5.5, because they're going to roll again on the road here against a UMBC team that people remember pulling off that crazy upset. But since then, they've been bunts. Yeah. I followed this team a decent amount. They're like right down the street from where I grew up, and they stink. And everyone remembers them. The golden retriever is one of the best fucking mascots in basketball and sports.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers them from knocking off UVA a couple years ago. This program has taken leaps backwards since then. So I think they just got lucky that season. They stink. Princeton's going to roll in this matchup. I like them minus 5.5, but I don't like the way the line's moving. And let me dig into this while you kind of give your side of it. But I was seeing minus 6s earlier. Now I'm really only seeing minus 5.5. So I don't love that pullback. Jovan, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah. Well, it was 4, I think, right, when it opened. So I'm not too concerned.
Yeah, 4.5-ish, 4.5-ish. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not too concerned yet. Okay. I will say, just like I'm kind of torn on the line, but basketball brain side of things, this is obviously a game where the tempo that's going to be played in the game forced by Princeton, that's going to be a big part of the game. And I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but the UMBC point guard who transferred in from Cleveland State has looked kind of lost in that offense. And like when you're playing a team with such high tempo, when you're not used to playing that style, like you're going to need somebody who can run the offense pretty effectively. And I don't trust that to come from him today. I don't know if he's going to be able to facilitate the offense in a game that, is a total of north of 150. I just don't think it's going to be that type of game that he can get behind. So I lean Princeton here. Even if it's kind of close throughout the end of the game, they're, if I'm not mistaken, a pretty good free throw shooting team. You should be able to kind of eke that one out.
I mean, yeah, they're like half their team is a bunch of freaking white Ivy League kids who are.
I kind of figured it translated, but
I watched their game last week. It's okay. I'll say it. I know you can't, but yeah, they're a bunch of white dudes.
Yeah,
shoot. But they did figure it out. I like what they saw in the second half. I had the game chalked up. Got a notice on my phone that it was getting close. Tuned back in, and I was very impressed from what I saw out of Princeton. And their coach, who was screaming on the sidelines like someone had a gun to his head. If they didn't fucking win this game, they were going to pull the trigger. I like the heart I saw out of him. They also got cucked in that game. They should have won that game, and the refs fucked them over. So I don't know if that's good or bad for today, but they should have won that game.
Interesting to me, too, is, I think I generally consider Tulane to be a more polished offense at this point in time, and even though they play faster, their pace ratings are a lot higher too than Princeton. And this total is almost 7 points higher than it was in that Tulane game, where we saw Tulane put up 89 points in that game that went over. So I think
people in chat are saying that the total is a little weirdly high too. These teams don't play any defense at all.
Yeah.
So if ball's going in hoop, this game's going to go over, and that's why it's that high in my opinion. I mean, Princeton, I didn't see them play a lick of defense on Saturday.
No. Yeah. I think it's justified that it's high. I just think the number, because like UMBC doesn't play any defense. You saw that in the Tulane game. Princeton doesn't play any defense, but I think that Princeton is less offensively polished and probably a little better defensively than Tulane. So to see it kind of in a higher number than we saw that first total set out in that game, it's not like crazy to me. It's just kind of reinforcing that there's going to be points, there's going to be defensive issues. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't be shocked to see it play out kind of how that UMBC Tulane game played out either.
100%. Everyone's saying fate. My guy in chat saying he goes to Maine. They're so ass. Yeah, I'm not betting that Maine game. I apologize. I don't have an edge in that one. Sorry. Cooper Kupp's expected to miss a couple weeks. Gosh, I hope he has a full recovery next season and doesn't play the rest of this year for the crab whale.
Yeah, for the crab whale.
The crab whale. Crab whale has legs. It's got claws. It's got legs. It's got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ollie's saying I've never bet against the line. It will actually kill me if I do. Yeah, 100%, Ollie. That's a fact. Never done it, never will. Never done it, never will. Half crab, half whale, sure. Half man, half bear, half pig. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. Wentz under picks is looking good. Yeah, if Wentz, if he takes another snap behind center in a Commander's uniform, I'll be pretty upset. Not gonna lie to you. Penn State. I think Butler might be fake sharp today. I really do. Everyone's betting them. Everyone's asking about him. Yes, capitalize Nick, man, bear, crab, whale, pig. Sure, he can. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I think Butler's fake sharp. I will say I don't know if I'm going to be betting Penn State because I can't really bet against line movement. Ollie, you got me there. You got me. But Penn State's getting Butler's getting a lot of tickets. Butler's getting, more handle than Penn State. Penn State, as a basketball school, they blow. They suck. And they had this really big center last year, but he's gone. So I'm not really sure why the hell Penn State, number one, opened up at, -9. I thought that was crazy to see them open up at -9. Absolutely crazy against a trendy Butler team who has their coach back now. what is it, Sean Miller, right? They have Sean Miller now coaching that team, who is a great coach, huge improvement going back to the school he started at. Everyone's gassing up this Butler team. They've got a couple really new pieces that Miller's brought in. And Penn State has never been a basketball school, and they suck. They lost their best player from last season, who was literally a linebacker turned it's Thad Matta. It's Thad Matta. Who the fuck am I thinking of with Sean Miller?
Xavier, yeah.
Xavier. God damn it, these fucking schools. Well, Thad Matta also used to coach there. That's why I got confused. So, yeah, both guys used to coach there. They're bringing back Thad Matta, and everyone's hyped about this Butler team again. The fact that they're opening up at -9 against this trendy Butler team makes zero sense in my opinions. And I liked Penn State, and I was praying that this line would stay last night, and it didn't. It did the opposite. It's absolutely cooking towards Butler. Jovan, what do we do here, man? I think you can agree with me that this line still doesn't make sense, but can we fade that line movement? Ali already told me I can't.
I wouldn't be against it. I just think it's especially if it keeps dropping down, like God forbid it gets to 5, 4.5. That's a 5.5 point line move-ish, which I'd be down to try and get through and try and middle. Not middle because I didn't place Butler, but you know what I mean. I don't know. This game, like Butler is. I had a tweet. I don't know if you saw it. Like I was trying to get people to guess what the biggest outright dog win was going to be today, and I would say Butler is the most popular one.
Yeah.
So I mean, the handle reflects that, the bets reflect that, and I get it. But the thing that doesn't make sense to me either in this game is the total, because the under in that game is very popular, and that's what I think. Kind of first thought is these teams are not very good offensively.
But it's going up.
They're not very, it went up 140 to 144.5 or 144. And like these teams, yes, they put up points this year, but it's been against, Butler played New Orleans, who's god awful defense, and then Penn State's played Winthrop and ULMD. So not very good teams. And when these teams play competent defenses, I don't want to say these are the greatest defense in the world because that's simply false, but initially my thoughts are, how are these teams going to score points? It's going to be a slugfest. And to see that total move up, I don't know, with the guard play that Penn State has and the depth that they have, that kind of makes me lean towards them because I trust them on a more consistent basis to put up points. So I'm not really scared to go against the line move. Again, and this right here, bigger games, Penn State, that's kind of the way they play. So the total moving up as much as it has doesn't really make sense. Doesn't really make sense to me, especially like you think, how are they going to get boards too? How are they going to compete in the interior because of this right here too? Which you tell me. So I don't know. It all screams that I don't really want to buy into the line move. I'd fade it.
Yeah. Well, what I came out of that was we should take the over in this game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it.
Makes no fucking sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
None.
And this is the one thing I was kind of thinking about throughout it. They can play 5 out, which obviously we get Manny Bates out of the paint. That'll kind of increase the tempo of the game, something that they're not used to seeing between these couple teams. So, maybe it's something that we don't expect from this game, and that's why the line's moving up as much as it is.
Yeah, it's probably just a stay away spot, but it definitely intrigues me why that total's going up and why they opened up there, straight up.
Yeah.
All right. People keep asking about this Louisiana Tech team. They keep asking about what I'm taking in that one versus Texas Tech. I'm on Louisiana Tech. I got them at +13. This Louisiana Tech team, I'll be honest, they've got a lot of new pieces, okay? They don't have Lofton Jr. You remember that big unit, big boy?
Yeah.
Last season, he's actually in the NBA now. I saw him check into an NBA game in at the end of a game when it was just garbage time. And I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe this dude made it. Good for him because he is so fat. But he was a bucket. He was awesome for this team. Anyways, their coach left as well. We know Louisiana Tech, the last couple of years, they've been really freaking good every season. Now they've got a new coach. They lost their best player. But their new coach has been an assistant there the last couple of years. So he's taken over. He knows the team and area very well, so it's not like they have a brand new identity, brand new guy who's still learning the ropes about the school. He's been there. and they still have Kobe Williams and this Keston Willis dude who shoots the lights out. Shot 40% from 3 last year. He's really freaking good. So they have 2 good guards still, and they have a pretty veteran team still, besides losing their best player, by far their best player, and their coach. I still think this is too many points. I'm taking it. I think this is going to be defense versus defense. I think it's going to be, points are going to come at a premium in this game, and I think it stays within the number the entire time. Tried to get smart, fading this Texas Tech team in Lubbock in their last game against Texas Southern. Was a game off, in my opinion, for both squads. Should have taken Texas Southern last night when they fucking won outright. Yeah. Anyways, that line movement scared me off that too. So maybe it's not all about line movement. But this Louisiana Tech team lost best player, only getting 12.5 points on the road at one of the toughest places to play in college basketball in Lubbock. Texas Tech looks great. And they have, shown no real issues, and we know how they win. They win with defense. So will this Louisiana Tech team. Louisiana Tech is getting pretty much no bets or money, but the line has moved from plus 14.5 to plus 12.5 on some books. That's a little sketchy. Give me Louisiana Tech on the road against the now ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders. Any thoughts?
Yeah. If it wasn't for the splits, I'd probably be on Texas Tech.
Wow.
Yeah. This is because the thing for me with Louisiana Tech is they have, with Kenneth Lofton not being there anymore, they're very small on the interior. Not to say he was the tallest guy, but he at least gave him some size in there. So they can't really play inside out anymore. I know they have
a better – the center taking over is not good at offense at all, but he's better at defense, allegedly.
That's the thing, because I think – to beat Texas Tech offensively, yes, I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. So how much of it do they really need? Sure. But I think you have to play it inside out against Texas Tech, because if you're going to try and beat them on the perimeter, I don't think that's going to work. And I think on the boards, I think that's going to be a problem for them, because he's big, sure, but he's pretty soft on the interior, I would say, offensive rebounding wise. And throughout the rest of the positions, how are you going to get rebounds against Texas Tech? It's going to have to be from the guard position. It's going to have to be from the 4, have to be from the 3, whatever. I just don't think they're big enough to do that. And I think their guards are still a little unproven in terms of running the offense. So I think they're going to run into some turnover issues against this defense. So I'm not running. The splits are the only thing saving me from betting the Red Raiders on.
Wow. Okay, well, the splits are saving you from betting a loser in this one. That's a tough place to play. That's not enough points, in my opinion, especially with a lot of new pieces for that Louisiana Tech team. So betting the line, not the teams there. Yeah, I'm seeing the IUPUI under go down. Not a good sign, but it's also getting absolutely hammered. People are betting on that left and right. So not really that shocking it's going down, but a little disappointed that I already grabbed it. Still like the over.
I will say, though, I do think – from the lines that I've seen from these first couple of games for Texas Tech, we were obviously on Texas Southern. I'm just wondering if they're just genuinely or generally just undervalued by Vegas, just because
maybe they are. They have an entirely new team. They brought in all new transfers and pretty much, right? And they're all in there playing. Besides fucking whatever his name is, who's the power forward who transferred in last year, who's still there at Texas Tech? Fuck.
Last year?
Yes.
So you're not talking about big $4?
No.
Oh, Kevin O'Banner.
O'Banner. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Besides him, it's a whole new squad. So I'm not really scared of O'Banner, to be honest. But they have looked very good. Why D-backs hat? I thought this hat looked fresh. Yes, from Oral Roberts a couple years ago when they went on that run. But he's been there for a year. This is his second year, I'm pretty sure, with them. I thought this hat was fresh. I also have one of the biggest bets of my life on the D-backs last 2 MLB seasons ago. So I owe them some respect.
You got to.
Snakes bite. Anyways, okay. Not happy to hear that you're not a Louisiana Tech guy today, but I am. That's okay. I'll bet them for you. No worries. Another one I wanted to talk about briefly here is this Weber State game. Weber State, historically very, very good basketball program. They also lost their coach. But they've got a new guy filling in who has been there for the last couple of years too. So again, not starting from scratch, which is good. they're not going to have Dame Dalla, coming in this one. We know he went there.
Might
But
need it.
honestly, this is backing a program that's historically a very good basketball school. And they have a lot of pieces back this season. And also just fading Colorado State, who was absolutely dominant last season, but they lost a lot of guys too, especially David Roddy Rich, who is actually playing pretty decent in the NBA right now. Rooting for him when he gets in. I think this Colorado State team is overrated, overhyped, big name from last season. And the fact that they're only getting 8.5 points against a school that a lot of people who don't follow college basketball religiously don't even know who the fuck they are. So this line is short. It's moving towards Weber State. I snagged him at 9. I'd grab him while you can. This line's not going to get any fatter. Give me Weber State on the road to stay within 10 against a pretty overrated, overhyped Colorado State squad. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I don't want to take too much stock into one game, but the one thing that we have seen in that one game against Washington from Weber State is they're able to defend on the perimeter a little better. Just the no defense thing has kind of been their calling card for a couple years now. To see them defend a little better, rebound a little better too, especially, was definitely good to see when you want to go into this game. Total moving down in this game too, with the points that we've seen from Colorado State, is certainly very interesting. So I'm with you. I do think Colorado State is a very overrated team. I'm willing to buy into Weber State here. I don't know. It's a team where I think they're going to get better as the season goes along, and maybe it starts today again against a team who I don't really think is that good.
Okay. All right. Why is Coppin State only +2? I wouldn't touch that game at all. Couldn't get an angle on it. Yeah, what's your TCU bet? What do you got?
Let's check on TCU hoops. See, I would wait. I do think they get it together and cover today, but at the same time, let me take that back. I don't think they cover. I think they play better. That's what I meant. But
okay.
I would wait to get anything going on TCU until Damian Ball gets back, because this offense looks very, very uncomfortable, and they can't play in transition, which Northwestern State is going to make them do, because they're a Southland team. They play very fast. They play sloppy. They do whatever. It's not where TCU is comfortable. So I don't know. The line feels a little high. The line being that high and continuing to move that way kind of tells me that they should cover, but I can't buy in yet. We just don't have a consistent scoring option, and Mike Miles is not aggressive 24/7, which is why that's the thing. So until Damian Ball gets back, we just don't have any scoring options that I'd like to back. So, I mean, if anything, take Northwestern State, but I can't say I'm too confident in that.
Okay. All right. Somebody in chat said, why do I not have plays on Pickett right now? I do. I just refreshed. If you guys don't see that I have a game tracked on there that involves a Virginia college, it's because I can't bet on Virginia colleges in my state. So I had to find another place to bet on them. Okay. That's why I don't see those bets. Okay. Yeah. Anyways.
Bring legal betting to Texas, guys. Start the
fucking figure it out. Bring it everywhere. I don't understand why it's not regulated and legal everywhere. Yeah. But speaking of Pickets, follow us on Pickett, guys. I don't know if you haven't, followed us already or downloaded the app. I don't know why you wouldn't. Use promo Krabs, promo Jovan, promo Book It, whatever the heck you want. Really good with, tracking how much money you're actually losing or winning, week to week. So, keeping your finances in order, making sure you're not, blowing your whole bankroll. And it's all about transparency too. If you want to, show your bets to the public, you can. If you want to hide everything and just follow the people on there, you can as well. So go follow us on Pickett. That's where all of our plays are, unless for me, it's a Virginia school. Jovan, unfortunately, doesn't have much on there he can do yet, but hopefully soon. Okay.
It's coming, I think.
Hopefully soon.
It's coming. Next couple of the squad ride, I do want to talk a little bit about this Air Force game.
Please
talk about that under, because the line is cooking. Seeing 129 some places now, which rightfully so, I think. But just looking at these two teams, right? Like Commerce is a team I've been kind of watching closely because, for my own purposes, they're a new team in the Southland, so I want to get familiar. But I mean, just looking at these two teams, 157 points in their last game, 146 in the Air Force last game against Northern Colorado, or no, that was a Commerce game against Delaware. which very uncharacteristic game. Like North Air Force is the team that's going to play slow, so that was a very weird game for that. But just looking at that, the line coming from 134, I think, down to 129 is pretty significant, and I'd still take it. I already locked in, but I'd still take it. But just looking at these teams, like, I mean, in that Delaware Air Force game, let's talk like one of the reasonings for that total being so high was 55 free throws, which for a team like Air Force that plays slow, like the matchup against Delaware wasn't great because it kind of forced them to play fast. Like Commerce isn't going to do that. Neither of these teams play in transition. Air Force is, I think, 7th or 8th slowest team in college basketball. Then like on the Commerce side, some of their higher scoring games have been just when they get down big, they just jack up threes in transition. Like that's all they do. They're a new team, a bad team, a sloppy team, whatever. So I think this game is going to be a little closer. So they're going to do kind of playing into Air Force's style of play, and they're very undersized. They're a very bad rebounding team. They're not a physical team. They're very small. So like I just think it's going to be a master class in classic Air Force basketball. I think it's going to be one of their games, kind of more like the Bowling Green game that they played first. So I like that play at whatever number it drops to. I think that total is just way too high.
Okay. All right. We're going to need some help for the squad ride poll. Okay. Trying to get the poll up and running right now. Don't know how to fucking do it. Would love to have people help us out on this one. So we got any mods in chat? Show yourself. Raise your hand, please. We got to get to going and building this. But let's see. Let me know if there's any mods in here. Text me what you want. Capwise Nick, you're the GOAT. Thank you. I will text you. Okay. Let's go ahead and put together what we want, though. All right. Yeah. College of Charleston. Are we putting that in there?
We can put that. We can put that.
I didn't like your response there. Holy shit, Jovan.
I would be lying if I said it didn't feel like UMass. Like it's still a side that I want to be on, but sketch.
All right. Maybe we don't put it in there. Let's not put it in there. Let's only put plays we're confident in, even if it's not 5 plays. Straight up.
All right.
What do you want to put in there then? Fuck. You want to put in that? Well, how's that Air Force under looking? Has it moved?
It's 129. So like it's moved a good bit. I don't know. It's kind of up to the people. I'm seeing 128.5 now. Jesus Christ. I don't know. That one might be moving a little too fast to put that in the squad ride because we're going to see 4 points lower come first dip.
Okay.
You can put, I don't know. I like Western Illinois. I want to put that in there for sure.
Okay.
Western Illinois. You like Miami, Ohio too, right?
Yeah, we can put them in.
We'll put that in for sure.
Okay. What about the Manders under tonight? Do you like that play?
Yeah, we can put that in there.
Okay. Philly, Washington, over, under. I'm trying to get the right numbers here. We've got the under 43.5. What else?
Chat likes Weber State. I'm down to put Weber State in there.
Same. +9 or plus 8.5.
8.5, 9, whatever it is.
Let's see what it's at.
If you can take the under 129.5, should I take it? Yeah. I mean, I locked in 130, so I'm with you.
+8.5. We'll go Weber States. Need one more play. You want to put the Heat in?
Yeah, I'm down for the Heat.
Heat?
Yeah. Heat ML.
Heat ML or -2?
Yeah, they're on -2. We can lay the ML.
Okay. All right. I'm going to text you these, Capwise Nick. You're a beast. What we've got, though, ladies and gents, we've got Western Illinois +14.5. We've got Miami of Ohio +12.5. We've got the Washington Philly under 43.5. We've got the Weber State +8.5. And we've got the Miami Heat MLs. All right. That's what we're rolling with for the squad rides. Tempo and pace on the votes, guys. We're running out of time. We're running out of time. Lipscomb Belmont game. I lean Lipscomb. I need to dive more into it though. I do lean Lipscomb though. Thought that line was a little short. Another line I thought was a little bit weird would be this USF line, where they are -7.5 to a in-state team, Stetson, who people are starting to think they might be better than them. Stetson's coming off of a outright win to Florida State, and USF is a poverty program and team. They stink. I don't know why the heck they're -7.5 against Stetson. That's another one that has kind of caught my eye as well. We have the poll up, ladies and gents. The poll is up. A lot of votes on the Western Illinois. Holy smokes. Okay. I'm voting for Weber State. Any updates on the Heat injury since we've been on here? Let me check.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let me check what we got going on in Miami.
Let's take a look.
I'm not seeing shit. Chris Paul. Wouldn't be surprised to see Chris Paul miss the game tonight.
Hero and Deadman, questionable for the Heat.
Yo, vote for whatever you guys want. Don't just vote for Weber State because I said I'm voting for them. We're in this together, team. Okay? Trust your gut. Vote for who you want. Okay? Trust your gut. Vote for who you want. All right?
Yeah, I think everybody's still questionable.
Okay. I'm seeing that as well.
Yeah.
Well, I wish there were some better games on today. I wish the Monday Night Football game was a little more competitive. Unfortunately for my Manders, this one could be tough. Not going to lie, not going to sugarcoat it. CP3 has been out, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to play, to be honest with you, from what I've read, but he's not been officially ruled in or out, okay? So we will be seeing it. Nobody wants the Duquesne over, noted. Ollie, let me look at it, bro. I don't think anybody woke up today and said, "Ooh, I really want to bet that Duquesne over." But
that's a good part.
Let me take a peek.
It's a good part of it.
That's probably why it's going to smack. Okay.
Suns play
Duquesne
base without CP.
Over.
Yeah, it's facts.
Ooh, this one's tight, ladies and gents. Get those votes in. Hurry up. Go.
This one is tight.
Go. This one's tight. Shout out Southern Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Lauren for finding that one. I can't believe that slipped through the cracks when I did my looking and due diligence. She pointed that one out to me, and my brain exploded when she did. That was incredible. Their first D1 win. Shout out Southern Indiana, the Screaming Eagles, for coming through last night. I hope you guys took that. Western Illinois with a late push. Who's going to get it done? Ooh, it's close. Somebody asked earlier if Pickett is free. Yeah, it is. Download it. Figure it out. All right. Southern Indiana last night, free against Southern Illinois. And we've got a winner. Western Illinois, plus 14.5. Sure we can. Let's see if they can pull this one off and make it stress-free. All right?
We know
that's not going to happen, though. All right? But to be honest with you, I don't want that to happen because I'm not here to fucking, I'm not here for handouts. I'm not here for layups. I want to feel something tonight. Okay? Let's feel something with this Western Illinois game, plus 14.5. Lock it in. BTL squad rides are 15-2. BTL squad rides, 15-2. And that's because of you guys. You keep voting on the right shit, okay? Not because of us. We're just throwing out the fucking options, okay? Let's keep killing it. Happy Monday. Let's attack the week. And let's go Manders tonight. We're going to get steamrolled. But my ass is rooting for